I have the renowned soul singer, James Williams. I've been trying to catch up with him. He's so busy here in Europe doing all sorts of events on with him. How's everything and how have you been?
That's pretty good. I mean, I've been on the road. I just got my kid in Germany about 10 days ago. I was in America for almost 1.5 months, working some things there.
Okay, good. Well, I know you're very traveled. You've been around Europe for many, many years doing your craft. Um, so what started you with this singing craft that you have, and where did this start?
That's really a very unique story. I just put it this way. I was before when I got out of the army, I started as a bodyguard, and then I started playing basketball. And I was a good basketball player, but I had an attitude problem, and I was very arrogant. And eventually, I was out of that. They put me out of that, and so when they didn't renew my contract, so I thought, oh man, my mother told me that I could sing. Then I said, I think I'm gonna make me a band. So I went to a store and bought a bass guitar. And everybody was like, man, you crazy? What you gonna do? I say,
Okay.
but after I bought that guitar, a year later, I was on the stage doing a tour with Boy George. Jesus
Wow.
Love Boy George tour, actually the last tour that he did in Germany.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting. So, Boy George, yeah, he's been around a long time as well, and I think I've seen him in some special shows on TV where he's doing, I think, these singing shows, and he's to be a moderator
Yeah.
or a judge and some of those things. So yeah, he's been around a long time. So, and again, with your journey, how long have you been on this journey? I know you talked about, the military and things like that, but your singing journey, how long have you been singing?
Well, I think altogether probably about 35 years, it's professional.
Wow.
Because before I was singing with a couple guys in the army and doing stuff, but it was just I could hang out and mess with girls and stuff like this. But then, I realized when the girl that I was into, she left and went back to America. I was like, man, you need to try to make some money with this.
Hmm.
And that's what I did.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting. But where you go in life, like you say, you tend to follow certain things and you get involved. And like you say, some people see that talent in you and they suggest that you get involved with that. So in some of the highlights you've witnessed in your travel, I'm sure being you, like I said, renowned soul singer in Europe and worldwide actually. So what's some of the experiences you've had in that, good or bad?
Well, I can't say any bad. When somebody don't pay the money, to me, that's not bad. That's part of the business. But some of the good things I had the opportunity. I'm the first person in my family that ever met Ray Charles. I met him
Wow.
the last show that he did in Germany before he died. That was in
Hmm.
Wiesbaden, and I met him and sitting in the back of a Rolls Royce for 3 hours and talking to him. That was something I won't ever forget.
Hmm.
BB King in Alisai, sitting in his hotel for like 4 hours, and he's explaining to me what I need to do and stuff. Um, I had a long lasting relationship with Dennis Edwards until he died. It was,
Dennis Edwards from the Temptations.
yes, yeah.
Wow.
It's like what you say, what you just said, because I remember when I went home one year, and my brother and I, we went out shopping, we came back, and
Okay.
my niece said to me, I said, Uncle Clint, Dennis Edwards from the Temptation call you. And then she's like, what? That's not no demonstration from Temptation. I said, yes, it is. You know him? I said, yeah, of course I know him. I mean, I'm still in contact with the guys. Paul Williams Jr., his Paul Williams' son, he's like headed on everything now. And just people that I met, Al Jarreau,
Wow.
and they respected me. And when somebody, a friend of mine was at a concert at Cool in the Gang,
Hmm.
and the guy that was singing with me, he was talking to his wife. His wife was friends with Cool, and he mentioned the band All That and me, and Cool had heard of me, and he called me, said, "Man, you know that guy said you're the one that works so hard on the stage, you know." And I do. It's I feel like music is like a luxury. It ain't something that, and if somebody pay for it,
Right.
but you don't, so I put everything in every show, and I perform. When I perform like it's my last show all the time.
Well,
And I'm not a show off. I'm an
yeah.
entertainer.
Okay, that's good. And that's interesting. You've met all these renowned singers and very
More,
famous singers, and you
yeah,
naming them off like they're just buddies around the corner. And then some of the places you just mentioned, like in Germany, where you have these little towns. So obviously you've been ingrained into Germany and
yeah.
other parts of Europe as well. But just listening to you talk about these names and these very known Ray Charles, Dennis Edwards, Jeffrey Osborne. I think you mentioned him as well.
Yes,
So
that was at the music message. But I have to say the Weather Girls, because I've been helping, supporting the Weather Girls and helping them, and we have been like a family for over 25 years, even before Mama, she died, and the Weather Girls, that's, to me, they are like just regular family members. They
so
know
you
my
mean
family, I know their family.
so you mean the Weather Girls, the singers of the It's Raining Men?
Yes, yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
interesting. Okay, that's
yeah,
a great thing. So,
yeah.
and I have to ask this question, and I know you've probably have a lot of history. So you being a black singer like this in the world in Europe, what's the experience you've had with that? Is it always you know cherry pie, or there's sometimes some difficult times being out there experiencing that world in Europe and just other parts of America as well?
Yeah, my partner, Curly Osma, we work this thing together. He actually named the group. He's back in the States now, even though we have a reunion on the
Hmm.
27th
Okay.
of August. But he was like my partner. He's the one who had the idea of with all that. And a lot of the stress that I would have, I didn't have because of him. He had my back, and I had his, and we always discussed things. And even if he didn't agree with me, he said, "Look, I don't agree with that, James." I never, because I'm my own self I criticize myself a whole lot,
Okay.
with the performance and stuff. And he always said we have to do our job. If there's people out in the audience, there's no such thing as a bad audience. It's only artist that's not ready for that part of the stage, not ready for that night. And we
I
try to
see.
be ready all the time.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. You say that, there's never a bad audience. It all depends on the artist and what they're giving the audience. And it's all
Yes.
about giving rather than taking, I would think, right? When you're out
Yeah.
there.
That's why the artist, the audience, when they come, they already did that job.
Okay.
Now it's your job to come up. They wait for you
Right.
to do your job. So this is what we always did. I tell you, we have never had a bad show or bad
Wow.
audience.
That's great.
Yeah, never. And
That's
people that
great.
knows the group, they are, and a lot of people that
Right.
that the group, some ridicule us, or they say that because we made the name All That, or they think they're all. No, we don't think we're all that. We know we do all the music that people want to listen to that night.
So that's the catch on your group's name. The group's calling All That. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not
Yes.
yes. Okay, I get not something people like you say. People feel like you're arrogant. It was like we're all that.
Yeah.
It just meant that's you're all included with all kinds of music you play. You're able
Yes. Yeah.
to have variations in your craft. That's a good thing, and it's a good name when you say that. So, and
Yeah.
asking in with that as well. So, what are you planning for the future? What do you have some major things coming up? Something that we can see here in
Yes.
Europe, in the stateside. So, what's some of the events that you're going to have coming up?
Well, of course, with the pandemic going back like it is, we have people to call. We have different events. Like there's an event in Nuremberg called the Summer Nachtball. It happens every 2 years, and it's the biggest ball Germany. It
Wow.
always be it's people out in the park with tuxedos and evening dresses. The last time we was there in 2019 doing that, there was 900 and I think 80,000 people there.
Really?
9,800 people. And it's a very high end kind of thing. And
Okay.
I'm looking forward to going back out there doing that because we the official house band for this ball. Then we have a couple of open airs where we're on the stage with other people because we play programs with other people because we have played in groups with. I know Justin Timberlake very well. Dante Thomas, he was also in a part of the NSYNC compound, and just a lot of nice shows. But my goal right now is try to get something started doing music in America, but on a big level. And the thing is, I wanted to do this because not to try to show people what they should do, but show people how much I appreciate what I do.
Okay.
I don't do music. I get money for doing music, but I don't do music just because of the money.
I
I do
understand that.
music because I love to spread a message. And usually if you listen to my program, the songs that I'm singing, then if you listen to it and follow it, then you'll start knowing more about me.
Okay. And that's a good way you say that. It's all about the message, and the music that you put out there. And that's important. So if someone would like to get in contact with your group, all that, and also or yourself to do some private events, is that possible?
Yeah, it's possible. We do, in the last, I say in the last 25 years, I think I probably did 200 weddings. I did
200 weddings.
weddings, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And I have done all kind of stuff. I have done concerts sitting at a table like I'm sitting right now, and there's 4 people on the other side, and they booked me to do certain things.
That's
I
it.
had the boss from Ferrari, Germany. He had me. He said, "Listen, my wife, she loves all the love songs for Lionel Richie. Could you come and play like 1 hour with piano and Lionel Richie to her?" I said, "Yeah, sure." That's what I did. Went there, had my little keyboard, and I sit there for an hour and did this because
Wow.
it's fun. It actually gives me something too.
Hmm.
I mean, they paid me, but it's more than just the money for me.
So those intimate moments like that, that's also possible with you to have those
Yes,
kind of
yes,
small,
yes,
that, reminds me of the days of the R&B singers going out on tour and they're hitting these small little hick towns and they had to,
yeah,
you know, sing in small corners and perform and things like that. So that reminds me of that, like you say, having to be
yeah,
across a table, 4 people, and you're singing
yeah,
and they're really, really having a great time. That's great.
yeah. Dennis Edwards, he always talked to me about this, and also BB King. They was telling me about different things, and they was telling me about about how much like drug and alcohol and stuff like that. But I said, the people that's on the stage with me, including myself, I never in my whole life know what a cigarette or alcohol or any drugs taste like. I never done anything like that. And
Wow.
when people come to do music or musician, they are not allowed to smoke or drink in the location. When they are
Okay.
finished with the job, they can do whatever they want to.
Right.
But when they are in the location where the job is, it's not possible.
So there's some regulations and some control going
Yes,
on with the
you have
group.
regulation at home. You have
to-
you
right.
have regulations when you're at your job. There's things you can't do.
Yeah, you're right. I
Yeah,
think there's certain things that you're right, and that's a good thing because, like you say, you're out there to offer the public your craft and your artistry, and you want to be on your top of your game when you're out there
you
like
have
that.
to be. You have to be
You have to be on top of your game, and
because
that's a good point.
these people is not your friends. They are
Right.
your client.
Their client, and that's how you got to see that you're there to offer them something and they want to be able to take something away. And I think with that, that means they'll come back, and if
Yes.
and they'll tell someone else, and that's a good thing. So is there a Instagram page or Facebook page, anything like that where people can contact you? How does that work?
Well, there's Facebook page about me,
Mhm.
a couple of, and Instagram, but not like just a regular website that people,
Okay.
because most of my over the years, all my contacts came, where usually people just contact me.
Okay, I understand.
You know, when I got a when I played for Audi or BMW or Mercedes, they contacted me. 2006, I was like my group was the official singer group for the World Cup 2006. And Plata, president of the FIFA, I mean, he gave us like an award, and I didn't plan any of this. It was just by chance. I was in a place in Augsburg, and some of the people from the FIFA was they heard us playing in a club, and
Mhm.
they ended up we did I think 13 games. We was in the stadium
Okay.
singing, and so but it's like if anybody would want to contact me, if they just contact me through my email, all that at live.de,
Okay.
because I always check this.
Okay. So that's all that at live.de is where they can
Yeah,
reach you, and
they can
they
contact me. Yeah,
if they want some more information, they can email you and book you for some special events
yeah,
and things like that. Well, obviously weddings, because you said 200 weddings. That's a lot.
yeah.
So
It's a
that's great.
I was like I got to do a wedding in August in Lisbon.
Wow.
Lisbon. Yeah, but I don't do weddings in Budapest, Czech Republic, Prague. I go to Romania, supposed to on the 20th, but because of the friction that they got on the borders of Romania and Ukraine, it might not go
I understand that.
because of my passport. They have an American passport. They they tell you not to do this. And I remember I had an offer to go to Ghana in a time when it was friction with the United States government and Rollins. They told me if I go to Ghana now, they would arrest me when I come back.
Really?
So I had to say, that was some years ago.
That's
But I
interesting.
go everywhere. I go everywhere. I go to Africa, South America, everywhere.
Wow. Well, that's
The
great.
biggest, the third largest open air festival in the world is in yeah. What is this? Yeah, the third largest open air festival is in Brazil. It's Oktoberfest in Blumenau, and I played that twice in the last 25 days.
Wow.
We
That's
play
amazing.
5 days a week.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Well, sounds like you had so many, past experiences. You look like you want to gain some more stuff in the future. So if you had to give any tip on any upcoming singer, anybody out there want to practice their music craft, what suggestion or what suggestion would give them, so they can move forward and make sure that their craft is well known.
Well, never be satisfied.
Okay.
Be your own critic. Be your own critic. No, don't listen to people telling you how good you are and how much they like it, because people will say things, and therefore you always push yourself to be better all the time.
Okay. So, never be satisfied and always push forward. If you out there, you have your dream, and just push forward. Now, that's a great point. That's a great point, because as I'm sure singers or performers, and be it instruments or singers, they have tried so hard and probably fell away on the wayside because they just don't keep keep that push, and never being satisfied to make the public, want to have more. And I think that's very, very important. And that's good to know. Well, again, it's always a pleasure talking to you, and I'm glad that I was able to get you here on the chair and talk about some of your experiences in the past, your upcoming events, and just hear some of the history. And I'm just still at the Dennis Edwards moment when you say you knew him. That's very interesting thoughts for me, but
Yeah.
that's a good thing. So I really am happy to have you here today, and I'm sure we'll have an opportunity to talk again in the future. And like I said, I'll reach out to you, and if you're somewhere and you've had some great event that needs to be talked about, this is a place, the chair, a place to be heard, and would definitely want you to come back. So again, thank you for being here, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again in the future.
Thank you, Al. Thank you.
Thank you.